Hey there, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the Warlord Card Gamer channel. Today we're going to be doing another opening. I'm going to be opening a special set today, and this set is, I believe it's an all reprint set. This set was printed in the era of 4th edition, but they are not 4th edition cards. At least I don't think there's any 4th edition cards. I believe they're all open cards. So we are talking about the 10 AORS set. 10th anniversary edition, I think it was 10A. Yeah, so I believe, if I remember correctly, this was actually kind of crowdfunded. So when Phoenix Interactive was producing the cards, they wanted to figure out how much interest there was in reprinting cards that were relatively hard to find, and it happened. I believe there's a bit of a problem there because there were a couple of cards that people wanted that weren't able to be reprinted for whatever reason. But anyway, so these are the sets that we have, and we're going to be opening them for you today so that if you see these available at any point, or you have them in your collection, then you know what's in them, and you know if they're worth opening, keeping, selling, trading, saving, whatever. Knowledge is power, and here we're trying to give you that information. So let's dig in. They are numbered 01 and to 110, and here this one is 56 to 110, and yeah, so these are 55 cards each, so they're basically two decks of reprinted cards. So let's get into them. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get in there. There it is. All right, now we're in. The other good thing about these cards is that they're MRPs, most recently printed, or most recent printing of the cards, which means that if there was ever an errata or a change in the card, then you get the kind of updated card, which is nice. So it was annoying to play with a card and then realize that the stats or the information isn't quite the newest version. Anyway, so this is a level 5 Rogue Deverinian unique evil. Order: once per turn, target another character, perform a skill check. The target must succeed with a luck save, DC equals Devernis's check, or become stunned. Otherwise, Devenas becomes stunned. Alright, so basically it's a DC check of whatever you roll plus 8, plus whatever skill you might have. The target must do. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. I don't know if that was or what the original card was, but yeah. Ged Morak, Deverinian Storm Wraith, Seer, Planar, Unique. Yeah, so in the past everything was either ethereal or astral. This would have been astral, which meant that even rolls hit, or missed rather. And in 4th edition, basically they all got removed and everything was just replaced with planar, which is essentially ethereal, which basically means that whenever you roll an odd, you automatically miss. Alright, so this is Storm Wraith, Ged, Morak. React after your Warlord rolls initiative. Name an action card. If your Warlord is a Deverinian, copies of that card may not be performed until end of turn. So this is a control card. Level 5 cleric there. Ged Venger. Deverinian, level 5 evil fighter. Storm Wraith, planar, defend +7. Once per turn, move forward 1 rank. Always good in a high level fighter. 3 hit points. React once per turn after an opposing character kills another Deverinian in this rank. Target already opposing characters. Each target must succeed with a fear save, DC 15, or become spent. It's a bit low, unfortunately, so that won't affect anything except for low-level characters. Which, Halo of Secrets. Level 3 classless Deverinian Siege unique. I wonder if this comes with one of each of the different ones. May not perform actions other than the following. Spend a react. After a Deverinian is targeted by an action that does not produce a melee strike, cancel the action. So basically, spells. Or stuff that moves people around, I guess. Level 4 Wizard Deverinian Trader. Once per turn, kill another character you control. Draw a card. Rama may immediately cast an order spell. Black Sand Gargoyle. Level 3 Evil Rogue, Dwarf, Gargoyle, Stealth +5, so he needs to roll a 10. You must control a cleric. For Black Sand Gargoyle to enter play, opposing characters in this rank suffer -5 attack, AC, and skills. That's really powerful. if you can get that into your opponent's first or second rank, this is definitely something you want to kill quickly. Door to the World, there's a second one. Dwarf Siege unique, may not perform actions other than the following. Spend react before target dwarf suffers wounds. Reduce the number of wounds by 1. Drea Nixus. Dwarf Cantor. While you control one or more spent or stunned Drea Nexus in your army, your dwarves inflict an additional wound with a melee strike if the strike hits by 5 or more or is a critical success. So multiple wounds is always important. Strength. I always liked him. Never got to play him, but I loved him. While in play, Strength is considered 2 characters for determining illegal ranks. Spend Order. Remove up to 2 wounds from Strength. Cool. Basically, this guy's a tank. Just holds ranks. Supply. Dwarf. Spend Order. Equip an item in your discard pile to the dwarf you control. The dwarf gains +2 levels for this action if an opponent has destroyed any of your items this turn. Basically a meta card. Abyss. Level 3. Cleric. Elf. Priest of Blood. After Abyss enters play, return target level 1 or 2 non-warlord character to his owner's hand. Cordios. Love this guy. Spend Order. Target a character within 3 ranks. Inflict a wound on the target. Cordios suffers 1 wound. Dedalia. I love her as well. Always one of my favorites. After Dedalia enters play, draw a card. Lady of Pain. Oh, that's cool. That's like the Lady of Pain. There we go. We just reviewed that. So Lady of Pain. Lady of Pain. It's a thing in the elves. Ikitos. Alright. I thought that was always cool, but never really useful. This came in a magazine originally. It was a promo. May not equip items or gain attack bonuses. Before Ikitos enters play, kill X characters you control. Ikitos entering rank is reduced by X if possible. After Ikitos kills a character with a melee strike, ready her. This ability may not be copied. It was kind of an interesting concept. One came out originally, but there are definitely much more powerful cards out there now. Kellerman, I love this guy. Spend Order, retrieve an elf from your discard pile and put him into your front rank as a skeleton, level 1 undead with +3 attack, 10 AC, 0 skill, and 1 hit point. When that skeleton dies, remove it from the game. It's a great way to bring down undead. Mageline, I loved her as well. It's funny, these are all marked as rares. Alright, once per turn, target a stunned character, unstun the target. I loved her because she's a druid, and that lets you play Tree Walk, which I think is actually in this. Yeah, we'll see. Quadlibit. So this was something that a lot of people really liked for open because it may not gain bonuses to an AC. Strikes against Quadlibit may not receive any bonuses to the die roll. So basically, you've got to roll 11 or better naturally. It's kind of a prequel to the ethereal and astral thing or planar thing. Bakbuumbala. I love this guy as well. It's a great way to move around the Temple of Lore. Target a character you control that is in your formation. Bakbu switches places with the target. So it doesn't matter where the character is. If it's a level 6 dragon in the 6th rank, he's in the 2nd one or in the 1st one, you can flip him. And obviously it's a lot of ranks moves. Rafkin, another one of my favorites. And now I need to go get the original. So, the original Rafkin was one of the first characters that was multi-faction. And she was just printed in 2 different colors. She was printed as an elf and as Free Kingdoms. And that was way back in Dominance, so this was even before CE edition. Campaign edition, before 2nd edition. And so, in 4th edition, they started doing this dual coloring. And so yeah, they reprinted her with the new version. It's pretty cool. Spend Order, ready target elf or Free Kingdoms fighter up to 4th level. Spend Order, target an elf or Free Kingdoms fighter you control. Fighter gains +3 attack and AC, or +5 attack and AC if the target is a paladin until end of turn. Regent, level 3 fighter. Your hand size is reduced by 1. Players may not draw cards from their own effects. That's shooting yourself in the foot there, I think, but there is a lot of draw in open, so it could be powerful. I love this guy. The art and a foil version of this is beautiful, especially the newer one. I think it was reprinted in EE. Adjacent Free Kingdoms inflict an additional wound with melee strikes. Should have been a paladin. Order, remove Sir Thomas from the game. Your Free Kingdoms inflict an additional wound with melee strikes until end of turn. But just in general, great art. Beautiful art. Arzak, wow, yeah, a lot of these are... Love this guy also. Nothrog Druid, spend order, move forward or backward 2 ranks, and spend order, move target character you control forward or backward 1 rank. Great way to move stuff around, especially if you were playing Belial way back when, which is the what was it called? The Cleric Guild Warlord, which basically meant that you could bring in any cleric characters into your army without the loyalty penalty. So yeah, I used to love this guy in there. Sethusk, well, this is a classic. Spend order, draw a card. Krun's Legion. Ooh, and there's a error there. Whoops. That's clearly not right. I don't remember what his, I can actually go figure that out. Give me 1 second. There we go. Found one. Hey. There's the original. Well, no, it's not. It's a Black Knife, so it was actually reprinted. But yeah, so he had 6 skill. Voltor Plains, there's the Nothrog one, Siege. They made one of these for each of the factions. May not perform actions other than the following. Spend react after a Nothrog you control moves forward or backward. Move the Nothrog 1 rank in the same direction. Bloodworm, this was a promo originally, I believe. May not equip items after Bloodworm performs an attack. It becomes stunned. Death Fog. Always loved this and wanted to use it, but could never really make it work. Level 4 fighter, may not equip items. When Death Fog enters play, each player may retrieve a monster or undead character from his discard pile and put it in his hand. Devour. Mercenary Mentalist monster. Devour's actions gain +2 DC to will saves for each card in your hand. Once per turn, remove up to 3 cards in your discard pile from the game. Remove that many cards of your choice in another discard pile from the game. Cool. Great against, I believe they actually said it was like Devourer of Dreams or something like that. But yeah, great for, or against elves, of course. Ghost Bog. Spend react. After target character performs an action, spend the character. Meta, again. Not a very powerful card other than the fact that she can stop almost anything. Grihilga. I loved her as well. Once per turn, all players reveal the top card of their deck. You choose whether the cards are all drawn or all discarded. Yeah, this was a promo. It was a pretty hard to get promo, I believe. And it's a great card. Extra draw is always important. And this is the Mercenary version now, Halo of Fire. These came out in Southern Kingdoms, I believe, originally. And I perform actions other than the following. For Mercenary inflicts 1 or more wounds with an action that does not produce a melee strike, the action inflicts an additional wound. So I guess that's mostly good for, it's ranged or wizards. Jackals of Mourn, very important classic card. Blink Dogs, that's what everybody used to call them, and this is a nod to that. So, may not equip items, order once per turn. If Jackals of Mourn are in rank 4 or higher, move forward 3 ranks. Order, move backward 3 ranks. Yeah, so basically you just play this in the 4th rank, and then order, move forward 3 ranks, so that's in the 1st rank. And yeah, 2 strikes. So that's cool. Blink Dogs. Blink forward, blink back. Johan Halfblood. Really cool. Classic art. It's the art that was on the original Saga booster packs. He's really cool. I never used him to great effect, but I had a friend that loved playing him. Mercenary half-elf. Spend a react after performing decree. Perform another decree. So in the era of 4th edition, they changed the word order to a decree because it was called a decree phase, and that basically means you get to do something. And I guess they thought it was a little bit confusing to call everything an order. So basically a decree is something the human does, an order is something that a character in play does. But yeah, basically you get to do 2 things in a row if you spend reactive. Mephit. Okay, so this is funny more than anything. Everybody really wanted this card. It was a promo that was not widely available originally. And it's not great. Nothing particularly incredible about it. It's got 16 AC as a level 2, which is awesome. Not game changing, but good for a level 2 character. Can move forward, backward, and rank, which is nice. It just wasn't widely available, so it was just really hard to get. And I guess people kind of wanted it, but otherwise, not spectacular. Okay, Ravenwild. Now I need to go find this. There we go. Alright. So, this is the original. which came in a magazine. I've always loved her as well. Very useful because once per turn, after a character in your army is targeted with a melee strike or range strike or action, so anything basically, select another character in the same rank who becomes the new target. It was pointed out to me that that's been changed, so this is an MRP. Once per turn, after a character you control is targeted with a strike or action, redirect the strike or action to a new target if possible. Basically means you can redirect that strike to anything apparently. So like, if you're getting targeted with a, I don't know, a spell that says perform a certain number of DCs, saves, or whatever, you can then redirect that to an opponent's card somehow, as long as it's within the specified ranks, which is incredibly powerful. This was already powerful. This is now even more powerful. I don't know if they're going to errata that back to the way it was, or if it's going to stay that way. But regardless, awesome card. Oh, wow. Okay. Didn't realize that came in here. Okay, so this is the epitome of dragons. This is the level 12 dragon. Most dragons go up to level 8, I think. Mercenary, dragon, unique. Supremacists entering ranks reduced by 1 for each worm egg equipped to your Warlord. There's only 4 of them, which means that you'd still have to come into level 8 or rank 8. It's still really, really high, and it's hard to have all 4 of them out and play. And they're not class specific, but their actions are generally class specific, so it's also pretty useless to have them in your deck. That is not the way that we usually bring a Supremacist out into play. Midnight equip items. Supremacist inflicts 2 additional wounds with strikes, so he does 3 wounds with every strike. So he's got 4 attacks, or he can do a spend order, move forward up to 3 ranks. That's cool. But lastly, the spend order perform 5 plus 9 range strikes. That's insane. So 5 plus 9 range strikes to do 3 wounds each. This guy is a beast. Yeah, so the best way to bring him into play is with a Dragon Lord, which would allow you to bring him into play adjacent to the Dragon Lord, because otherwise it's just ridiculous. He's obviously way too high level. But yeah, this guy is a beast. 8 hit points, 26 AC naturally, 19 skill. You don't want to be fighting these. The Temple. So this is what I was talking about with the Bakbu. There you go, look at that. Perfect. So Temple of Lore may not start and play or perform actions. So it's basically a building, so you can't really move it unless you use something else to move it. Your characters enter play as if they were 1 level higher. Characters you control gain plus X attack, AC, and skill, where X is their level, and 5th level or higher characters you control gain plus 1 HP. So this has actually been errated twice now. It was brought to my attention that the original one had this kind of wording, and the second one did not. It actually said 4th level or higher, so now they've brought it back up to 5th level or higher characters have plus 1 HP hit point. Yeah, so very powerful still, and just a pain. Very hard to move around, of course. Ooh, wow. This is a nice set. So Tauren, this is the epitome of broken and I guess overpowered in general. He is the Seer of Distant Realms. He came out in the original saga, so that's what you want to draw from one of these packs if you get him. Basically, let's read them. Once per turn, discard a card, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may retrieve one of the cards and put it into your hand. Return the remaining cards to the top of your deck in the same order. So yeah, basically just lets you search in your deck. And yeah, it's really, really powerful. Great card to get. Wagon. This was a promo. May not attack, start and play, or equip items. Wagon may enter play in any rank higher than its level. Spend order, target up to 3 characters in this rank, move Wagon, and all targets forward 1 rank. Pretty cool. It's a siege character. Janky, because it's not particularly incredibly useful, but interesting. Great way to move things around, especially if you have a lot of characters. But if you've got a lot of characters, you're probably already winning. This is something that you want to do when you have a lot of characters. Spend order, target all other characters in play, ready each target. Great card. I never used it to great effect because I wasn't a huge fan, but lots of other, there were some powerful decks back in the day that used this. Forewarning. Seers may perform this action without spending. Spend order. The opposing player of your choice must reveal his hand, and you draw a card. So if you've got a Seer, so Dallin or who else is here? Dallin or Belial. Those are the two that come to mind. I'm sure there's a few more. Yep, this is a powerful box, or rather set. Mass Blessing. Very classic, powerful card. Target a rank in your formation. While in that rank, all characters gain +X attack and AC, where X is this cleric's level until end of turn, and it's an order. So yeah, this is an incredibly powerful card for clerics. Premonition. This is meta. Spend React. After target character pays the cost of an action card, cancel the action and return the card to its owner's hand. Until end of turn, action cards with that name may not be performed. Seize Life. Level 5 cleric action. Spend order. Before target character suffers wounds, target a number of characters up to this cleric's level, reduce the wounds by 1, and each target gains +1 HP until end of turn. Tree Walk. There it is. Druids. Perform this action as if they were level 2. So where was that Maggie? She was one of those first ones. No, yes, there she is. That's what I was talking about. So yeah, Tree Walk is another way to move the Temple of Lore. Magdalene is a druid and can perform this action. Target 2 characters you control that are in your formation. The target switch places. One of my favorite jank cards as well. Wheels of Fate. Seers perform this action without spending or spend order. Discard the remaining cards in your hand. Draw the same number of cards that you just discarded +1. So basically it includes this one. Contest Thy Title. This was a powerful card as well. Spend order. Choose an opposing player who targets a character he controls. This fighter and the target both roll a die and add their attack to the roll. Deveranians who choose characters or characters that were chosen as Deveranians have +5. The character that wins permanently gains +3 attack AC, 1 hit point, and is readied. Remove this card from the game. I don't remember if you removed it in the previous version, but yeah, that's very powerful. Find a Way. React. After an action by this fighter is cancelled, the action is not cancelled and continues normally. Spend order, kill target siege character within a rank. I don't know if there's any siege warlords, because that would be broken if there was a siege warlord. Obviously not incredibly broken, but if you happen to be that lucky to be fighting an opposing warlord and have this in hand, in general, this is just this is a great way to make sure that what you do actually gets done, because there are lots of ways in Open or Ancients to cancel people's actions. Hammer Toss. Before targeting a melee strike, the strike may target an additional rank away. After the strike, destroy one weapon equipped to this fighter. If you don't have one weapon, you don't destroy anything. Okay, I thought this was actually an order originally. Hero's Gambit. Perform an attack without spending. Strikes from this attack inflict an additional wound. Kill this fighter, which may not be cancelled. Powerful, but definitely also deadly. Into the Tunnel. Spend order. Until end of turn, all characters must discard a card as an additional cost for any action that targets an opposing character. So essentially, if you want to attack or shoot things or target spells, you've got to discard a card at the same time. No Prisoners. This is a classic as well. After this fighter performs a melee strike that killed the target, perform a melee strike that suffers -3 attack against any characters that were adjacent to the target. So basically you can target up to 2 more characters. A Quick Death. May only be performed by a rogue in another player's formation. After target spent character suffers wounds from a melee strike by this rogue, kill the target. Cool. But you have to be in opposing ranks. Assassination. We were talking about that in another video. Before this rogue makes a melee strike roll against a spent character, the strike is a critical success and inflicts an additional wound. Assassin's Arrow. Before this rogue makes a ranged strike roll against a spent character within 2 ranks, the strike is a critical success and inflicts an additional wound. I think this is the last one. Boomerang. Boomerang may be performed once per turn per player. Perform a +5 range strike that does not inflict wounds. If the strike hits, the target is stunned. Return Boomerang to your hand. So, yeah, that was it. That's for the first pack of cards, and I'm going to go ahead and then just make a second video, because this has gone on for way too long.